Let's bring in Mark Spencer, the head of Christian Schools Australia. Mark, thank you so much for joining me on this Sunday night. What are your member schools facing if the proposals in this paper are given the force of law?
Devastation, frankly. We've already had the National Catholic Education Commission come out very early on after the release of this paper, talk about this being a tipping point. Their concern was that in a pluralist society, that Catholic schools should be allowed to be Catholic schools. Fairly obvious and fairly straightforward, we would think. We've had more than 30 faith leaders write to the Attorney General, express their deep concern about these proposals. I've talked to many people about them, obviously, and a lot of people are describing them as worse than their worst case scenario. These are more extreme proposals than have ever been proposed ever before to remove protections for faith-based schools.
The impression I got, Mark, from reading the consultation paper is that the ALRC doesn't think it matters whether a maths teacher or a primary school teacher at a faith-based school has made a decision to live consistently with the beliefs of that faith tradition. What's your response to that argument?
That's really a silly argument, isn't it? It's if you talk to parents, and I've talked to many parents about their experience at Christian schools and what they're wanting for their children. Parents know that our staff, our teachers, are the heart of our organisation. They really are the heart and soul of Christian schools. They're the heart of any organisation. Our staff share our beliefs, share our love for Christ in our context in a Christian school, share the Islamic faith in an Islamic school. That's what faith-based education is about. Those faith and those beliefs coming through in their relationships with children, in their relationships with each other, in their relationships with the parent and the wider community. Parents are choosing faith-based schools because they want those values and beliefs. That's clear from our evidence, our research amongst parents. That's why they're choosing our schools. They want that faith and beliefs, and that is expressed through and by our staff, our teachers.
Mark, the hard left has the numbers in Labor's party room. What does that mean for the chances of common sense prevailing here?
Well, I won't speculate on the inner workings of the Labor Party. I know there were some good people on both sides of politics, including some very good people in the Labor Party. And look, my hope would be that all of the Labor Party would remember what happened to the 2019 federal election. We all know that was an election where people of faith made a huge difference to the outcome. Religious freedom was a very significant issue in that election. I spoke to a retired principal not long after the 2019 election, and he was a lifelong Labor supporter who just couldn't bring himself to vote for the ALP in that election because of his concerns about their position on religious freedom. Now, we've worked very hard, and they've worked very hard to actually reach out to faith groups, to restore relationships, to build trust. And that's been enormously successful. They've changed their party platform. They've made some very strong commitments to us before the last federal election. And even in the terms of reference for this consultation, one of the terms of reference talks about ensuring that we can maintain that ability to be a community of faith, which really goes to the heart of what we're trying to be, a community of faith that provides education. So we think they get it. We think they need to remember what happened when they didn't get it and make sure they listen to parents in the community who consistently since 2019 in our polling have supported our right to employ staff who share our beliefs.
Mark Spencer, I wish we could keep going. Thank you so much for joining me tonight.